Okay, is everyone like this? I'm Mary Louise Sinclair, and I'm a painter.
And I'm Matty Cruz, I'm a metalsmith.
And we're in our home in Hudson Valley, New York. So we bought the house in 2016 after looking at 30 to 40 houses for about a year. And we renovated for a year, sharing the house with my mother. My mom was instrumental in the design process. After about 3 years, we moved from the city.
The original part of the house was 1760, and then they added on in the 1800s.
This was originally a horse farm. It was the main house to the horse farm that we have next door. And then at some point, the property was split up. When we came to initially look at the house, the long driveway up, we were pretty stunned just by that alone. We didn't even really need to see the house. The big willow trees, the pond, the field, and we have the silo.
We're kind of have our own slice here. We can enjoy nature kind of untouched. If I were to describe this house in one word, it'd be classic.
I wouldn't say the same thing. I don't want to say cozy or quirky or anything like that. I would say it's kind of like a quilt. It's kind of all patched together, things from the past, things we've bought. I mean, it's definitely kooky a little bit. I'm drawn to traditional and non-traditional things with texture and pattern, age. Minimalism has never been my thing.
Speaking to the aesthetic, I like how woven everything is. We have bright colors, we've got neutral colors, a lot of the textures and textiles and paint colors and the patinas of the furniture.
Stuff.
All the stuff. I just feel like everything's kind of tied together around here, much like is reflected in the nature around us.
Here we are in the primary bedroom, and I think the first thing anyone will notice are the walls and this beautiful mural that was painted by artist Happy Minnical, who I worked for a couple of years. And then I think the next thing you notice is probably the canopy bed, which we actually just put this in. We decided we needed some verticality in the room, and the canopy actually came from my bedroom from my parents' home from growing up. I love having a mantle to put cherished objects on. These Staffordshire little houses actually were my mother's. She started collecting these. Her mother started the collection for her, and so now my mother has passed the tradition on to me. And then I love the Irish Regency mirror here, and obviously the blue sort of plays into the blues and lilacs of the mural. The kitchen was the biggest part of the renovation. We did a total gut. We decided to remain a little more neutral and calm. We opted for open shelving in the kitchen so that I could display my small but mighty vase collection. I love to collect antique vases. We went for sort of shaker style cabinets. This is probably the other room I spend the most time in, and one of my favorite rooms. And we have an intentional seating area here so that the children can be in here with me. What I love about living here is witnessing the light and the change of light and the change of the seasons throughout the year. It's obviously very inspiring as a painter.
I think moving up here has definitely changed the way I've worked. I was kind of just doing this one thing over and over while we were in the city, and then I had a prototype of something that I was working on, and then when we brought it up here, it kind of became a new finish that I offered.
For me, moving up here, the lack of space in the city versus the pretty endless space here allowed me to work bigger. It also, you know, having our studio here on the property, it made the working mom thing a bit easier.
There's several pieces of mine throughout the house. I've got a bathroom vanity upstairs, and then this very coffee table in front of you is one of my original tables from my first collection. There's a console over here as well, and I've been lucky enough to have a wife who would allow
I commissioned him a lot.
allow my furniture to be in here.
Here we are in the living room, which, as one could see, has an array of color. Here you really see how much we love to layer and mix textures and patterns. This is the dining room, and it's interesting because you walk right in through our formal entry into the dining room, which is a little bit abnormal, but I personally love it. We love to keep the door open this time of year. The light is beautiful. One of my favorite things in the house are these chairs, firstly because they were my grandmother's, and secondly because they are my favorite color, chartreuse. We are here in my daughter's room. Originally, this was a guest room, but when we chose the wallpaper, the thought was, okay, this might possibly be a nursery or child's bedroom in the future, and the paper really lent itself well to both guest room and child bedroom. This time of year, the dahlias put on their show, and I have some nasturtium, some lavender, some nepeta, and I love how close it is to the house, so I can just pop out and cut some flowers and arrange them for our dinner table. We have 2 children, 4.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 4 of us like to take little property walks. We'll put them in the wagon. There's always something to do outside, no matter the season. This home makes me feel like I'm home.